What's up guys, how y'all doing? Cosmic Harry here, bringing you another basic tips and tricks video, and today I shall be discussing the hull down mode, or the performing the hull down maneuver. And what is it basically? Well, you can see it up on screen, and this is what you want your enemies to see. If your enemies can only see the turret of your tank and your hull is completely protected, especially so for instance in American tanks where the hull is very weak but the turret is very strong, then you're doing this correctly, and you're performing the hull down maneuver correctly. Keep in mind that you can only perform this with, of course, turrets that are either strong, very strongly armored at the front. For instance, this is the T-32. I have a T-32 at the front. The frontal armor is 300 millimeters, and very, very difficult to pen. Well, impossible. And also with tanks, for instance, like the E-75, which doesn't necessarily have the strongest of frontal armor, but it's very nicely angled and sloped, and you're going to get bounces, absolutely 100%. But the rules, the two very, very important things when it comes to engaging in the hull down mode is do not remain static, do not remain motionless. Keep moving, just so, in order to prevent the enemies from penning your weak points. Because the enemy still can pen you, even in this position as you're looking at it now, the T-32. You can pen the turret. So if you keep moving back and forth, rocking back and forth during your reload time, you're gonna bounce. You're gonna bounce. You're literally eliminating all options as far as your enemies are concerned. And the second thing that's important is artillery. Performing these kind of maneuvers, hull down mode, side scraping, etc., are pointless, are useless if artillery can see you. And I see this time and time again where people think they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is going into hull down mode, side scraping, etc. Artillery love players that perform these maneuvers, due to the predictability of their maneuvers. You're rocking back and forth, possibly maybe you're hull down and you're not even moving at all. So artillery love they love these kind of targets. They hate mobile targets. They're not gonna go for the scouts zooming around here and there. First and foremost, they're going to be looking for tanks that are motionless, that are not moving, that are predictable in nature. And those tanks are tanks in the hull down mode and in the side scraping mode. So if you think artillery can see you when you're in the hull down mode, don't bother. You need to reconsider your options and go to another flank elsewhere, pull back, this and that, employ a different tactic, whatever. All I'm saying is, don't bother. If you get blown up, don't bitch about it. It was your own fault, 100%, and you are the weak link in the chain. So I am in hull down mode. I'm facing off against a buttload of enemies here on Redshire. This entire flank is coming at me, and I am fending off this entire flank single-handedly using the hull down mode, 100%. And I believe there's a heavy behind me supporting me. If I remember correctly, it's a KV2, and he dies pretty quick. But you can see what I'm doing. I'm staying mobile, trying to protect my weak spots, and just taking advantage of the enemy as they expose their weak points. The Mr. Carnarvon there exposing his lower plate there. French TD, very weak armor. What's he doing there? I haven't got a clue. And notice all the shots coming in. They're all bouncing. Nothing is penning me. I believe the Tiger 2 manages to pen me. He was a smart player. He ultimately took me out. There he is. And he is going for my weak points. There you go. He's hitting my viewport. And this is what I was talking about. You have to stay mobile. I'm staying mobile to protect my weak points, but also possibly maybe artillery might take a fancy to me. So there's that to consider. But apart from the Tiger, is it the Tiger or is that a 75? Nobody else is penning me. You know, all these other tanks, they're shooting at me and they're just bouncing. I've received, say, in the region of 10 shots, so to speak, something like that, and only 2 have penned me, and that's from a skilled player such as myself in the Tiger 2. And you can see they're dealing with the KV2. I take advantage of that, and finally he gets taken out, and I'm just hold down. I'm holding down this entire flank pretty much by myself. I'd say 90% by myself. And ultimately what happens in the game is, you know, this flank is suppressed. It stops in its track due to the fact that, you know, I'm over here and I'm not letting them through, and eventually we go on to win the game. So yes, I do die. Weak point, look at this, weak point, there you go. Yes, I do die, but we win the game. So, and I'm performing the hold down maneuver almost perfectly. There you go, he's penning me again. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. But in my mind, you know, I can't pull back and back off, and because there's a lot of them over here, and I was afraid they were gonna push through and overwhelm this side, and, you know, take the momentum to our base and possibly cap, etc, etc. Very nervous here with regards to, you know, where is the Tiger 2, where has he disappeared to, and there he is. Kablama. He manages ultimately to take me out, but a very good demonstration of the hold down mode, and a good demonstration of, just because you are in the hold down mode, it doesn't mean that you're invincible. You still have weak point. And now we have the situation, the hold down situation, where you're facing pardon me, an opponent who's also in the hold down position, in the hold down mode. You know, what do? You know, I load up HE. That's pretty much the only option you can go for, and due to the fact the distance, the precision of your gun, you're not necessarily going to pen those weak points. So the only option that you're left with is load up HE and cause splash damage, and what you're doing there is just inflicting tiny bits of damage, you know, 100 at a time, but it accumulates. It really does accumulate, you know, over time. And at the end of the day, with HE as well, you know, you can destroy modules, so there's that, you know, gun and viewport, and but you're hold down, you're suppressing the enemy, you're keeping them at bay. Granted, they're keeping you at bay, and it's kind of like a stalemate situation, but at the same time I'm showcasing here how nobody is penning me again, but I'm managing to inflict damage on the Jagdtiger. Granted, I'm not penning him, but still. And in these kind of situations, you're just hoping for your compadres to flank round to the enemy, to their rear, to their side, etc, etc, and you're just holding off the advance of the enemy on this flank. Absolutely. And finally, you're going to see a combination of tips and tricks and strategies and this and that. As I pull up here, I'm facing 3 enemies. I think they're 3 Rusky tanks, 2 mediums and a heavy, if I remember correctly. Zooming in, I am hull down. I managed a pen there, very nice. And take a look at this. My turret is locked. I'm also gaining situational awareness by looking around me and trying to locate where the Death Star is, you know, the Waffentrager E100 is. And so I'm multitasking on a higher level, or whatever you want to call it. My gun is reloaded. I can focus back on the enemies, shoot. Unluckily, you know, I don't manage a pen. I'm trying to lock my turret. You can see, instead of locking my turret, it's actually locking onto a target, rocking back and forth. I'm hull down and angled at the same time, so it's a kind of like a combination of side scraping and angling and hull down. So look at this, lock my turret, rock back and forth, bounce, 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 and it's just myself and this low health T30. He's doing things correctly as well, sort of, kind of, even though he died. He's hiding his hull. But you'd think I was nervous in a situation like this. They do manage to pen me. They're penning me in my weak points, and that's due to the fact there's 3 of them. You know, so you got 3 incoming shells. Something's gonna pen you. But you'd think I was nervous in a situation like this. Absolutely no way. I said to myself, unless they swarm me, unless they rush me, you know, I'm good. You know, and at the same time, my compadres are coming to flank them from the rear. So just rocking back and forth, lock your turret, and we're good to go. Moving in for some kills now. We're good to go. Here we go. He fires. Hardly manages to track. Take him out. Giving me my second kill. Rocking back and forth just in case. Hiding my lower plate. Hello, sir. SD1. Nice shot into his cheek. Good to go. So with the aid of my compadres and the techniques that I was using there, we managed to shut down, you know, this what is it, Banana Road, whatever you want to call it, Sniper Alley. Good to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this vid. All of these skills and tips and tricks that I'm showcasing, you kind of need to master in order for you to become a better player, a more consistent player, and in each and every battle you need to know when to implement what technique, etc., etc. Take it easy, guys. Adios, muchachos.